What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Clash Royale video. I haven't done one of these in a freaking century, but I've been playing this game for like 4 years now, and I thought, what better way to kind of get back into it than to kind of reflect over all of the cards in the game and do a tier list, and to just see where some of the cards stand now in 2020 versus when I started in probably like, I don't know, 2016, 2017, something like that. Since the game started, there's been a ton of new cards added. There's also been tons of balance changes, so some of the good cards 2 years ago may suck now. And as you can see, there are a ton of freaking cards in here. So this might be a bit of a longer video. Buckle up, grab some popcorn, and let's see what I think about these cards. Also, before I start, I will just mention this is my personal opinion. This is what I see from the games I've been playing. I've probably played thousands of games, so I like to think I have a pretty good idea. Pretty high in trophies, over 6,000. That being said, you guys might have a totally different opinion. One of these cards might be in your deck and you might love it, and I might think it's over here in the ass tier, which I created because there are some ass cards in this game. Alright, so let's kick things off with the Dart Goblin. This dude is pretty solid. He's a little bit weak, so he can be taken out by like arrows and log, but if he's untouched, man, he can get some good damage in. He's really good in like bait decks and stuff like that, and if you know how to use him, but I don't think he's that good. We'll put him B tier. We'll see. Some of these cards I might switch around as I go on, but for right now, I think B tier. It's good, it's not great. Miner. Alright, now Miner, we're going to have to go up here and put him in S tier without even thinking about it too much. The Miner is like the focus in so many decks, especially bait decks. It's really good to get that chip damage. He's really versatile. You can just take him, put him straight on the tower. Opponent has 300 tower damage left. Oh, put a Miner on it. This guy just really helps you win games. And I see it so much on the ladder, so for that reason, I got to give it S tier. He's a baller. All right, now Snowball. This is somewhat of a newer spell. It's 2 elixir, just like Zap, but instead it hits enemies and kind of knocks them back. I see this used a ton on like Gob Barrel, Skeleton Army. You got like a charging Ram Rider or Battle Ram coming in, throw a Snowball at it. It's pretty good. Honestly, I'm going to say it's A tier. It's really useful. It doesn't reset like Zap does, but it's really useful against charging stuff, except for Prince. I don't think it knocks Prince back for some reason. Alright, now Freeze. Oh my god, what a polarizing card Freeze is. I can't stand this card. I'm sure if you have it in your deck you love, just taking towers with an unexpected freeze. I can't stand these two cards right here. Graveyard Freeze is what I can't stand. So Freeze is kind of like an all or nothing card. I feel like it either works completely in your favor and you take their tower, or you get nothing and then you get punished because you didn't take their tower and you spent 4 elixir. So because of that, I'm going to have to put it in C tier. I don't think it's good enough to be placed higher than that. It can be at certain times, but we'll say C tier for now. Graveyard is an interesting concept for a card. It spawns a bunch of skeletons on the tower. Legendary, let's see. It works in really good combination with Freeze, or if you throw a Miner on the tower. It can be pretty good if you don't have the right card. If you have like Archers or Dart Gob, Skeleton Army, stuff like that, you can counter it, but I would say it's pretty good because they can always just throw arrows and kind of get that stuff away, or freeze it. So we'll say B tier. It can be countered, but man, a good one at the right timing is devastating. All right, now we have Minion Horde. So this may surprise some people, but I'm not putting it at S tier. I actually do not think too highly of Minion Horde because for 5 elixir, that's a pretty big, it's like a decent size investment. Sorry guys. Sorry guys, still like a little bit sick. Hope that's going away soon, but they can be arrows, 3 elixir for 5. I use Fire Spirits in my deck, and that usually works. And that's 2 elixir for 5, and Ice Wizard takes it out. Snowball does pretty good against it. The only thing that I will, like, that's keeping it out of S tier is, let's say you don't have arrows in cycle, or they're baiting you, or they just didn't play it the whole game, and last second minions, boom, like, it can devastate your tower. Just kind of like freeze. It's sometimes an all or nothing card. And when you do get it to work, and when it does get on tower or take something out really quick, it's extreme. It does so much damage. So I'll put it in D tier for now. Valkyrie, this is a card I really like. It's not in my deck, but I've used it in a couple other decks. Used it in grand challenges. Really versatile. It's great against like witches, wizards, especially if you got like a couple troops coming across the bridge, like an E-Wiz and a regular Wiz or something like that. It's good at cleaning up like skeleton armies and stuff like that. Because of like how useful it is in countering lots of different cards, support cards and stuff like that, I'm going to put Valkyrie, I'm going to put it in A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier. It's really good, but it's not like crazy good. Now we have the Wizard. This is kind of an interesting one because you almost never see it played like in pro matches. But I'm obviously not a pro. I like to think I'm pretty decent after playing for like 4 years. I've got up to like just below 6,500 trophies a couple seasons ago. But then like if it's over leveled on the ladder, it's pretty good. I also see it a lot. Man, I don't know whether I want to put it in C tier or B tier because it's so good at cleaning stuff up. One wrong placement and it hits your troop and your tower at the same time. You get some extra chip damage. We'll put it in B tier for now. It might be C tier, but we'll see. Sparky. Ooh. This is one card I hate playing against. Man, it is. You get this card in a really skilled player's hands on the ladder, and you might be screwed. It's one of those cards, one wrong card placement, or you play one card that you think is going to take it out and it doesn't, and then it just snowballs. Then you're low on elixir and they keep putting stuff down. You don't see it in pro gameplay too much because they're so good at defending. But on the ladder, I'm going to put it C tier for now because I don't think, for most of the ladder, like up until about 4,000, I don't think people really know how to use this card at all. It's really got like kind of a specific area of people that are good at using it. And if you haven't been using it a ton and know it's like quirks, then you're probably not going to do as good as you think you will with it. That's why I'm going to put it at C tier. Honestly, I could see people putting it B tier or even A tier if they're really good with it. But for me, I feel like it gets countered more often than it actually connects with the tower. But yeah, guys, also let me know in the comments below what you think about my list and what you would have put where. What have I absolutely butchered? I haven't even got through a fourth of the cards yet, but I'm sure I'll butcher one that you guys will think. Alright, now Cannon. This card, I'm going to have to go with D tier. It's a good cycle card, like in Hogrider decks, if you need just a quick defense, but it gets arrows, like, will almost take it out. Fireball, it's done. You can freeze it. Poison, it's done. Like 2 hits from a freaking giant, it's done. Lightning, it's done. Like, it's just so easy to take out, I feel like. And it doesn't do enough damage, like, fast enough. It's only 3 elixir, so that's good. It's good in a cycle. It's not quite S tier. But unfortunately, the next card on the list is gonna be S tier. This card sucks. Whatever Supercell did to this about maybe a year ago, sometime in 2019, it might have been like January, February, it's back to 9, I think it's back to 9 elixir now, I can't remember. These cards on this website are like not updated, so I can't remember if it's 9 or 10 elixir, but what I do know is I never see this card on the ladder anymore. I used to, like a year ago, I would play 3 musket decks pretty often on the ladder, and it'd be like the 3 musket that they split in the back, and then the knight, sometimes the battle ram, sometimes the heal spell, but I never see 3 muskets anymore because you put them down, it takes like 3 seconds to deploy them, and Fireball Zap takes them out, Fireball Log takes them out, Poison does a pretty good job at taking them out. Hell, if you got like an ice golem and a wizard behind it, they'll get taken out. My problem with this card is it's just too damn easy to get rid of it for like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 elixir, and it's 9. They need to do so. It needs to either cost like 8, or it just needs reworked. That card sucks. Arrows. Now this is a card that just got buffed. I think in the last, maybe in the December update. This card probably would have been down here in like C or D tier. But honestly, guys, I'm like contemplating putting it in S tier now. I could see people putting it in A, but I gotta go S tier with these arrows. It's not my deck or anything, but arrows now will take out guards because it has 3 waves. It doesn't just knock their shields off, it takes out guards. It does more damage overall now too, so like if like a bomber is like 1 level lower, it takes out the bomber. I don't think it used to take out did it used to take out Dark Gob? If it was 1 level lower, it wouldn't take out Princess or Dark Gob. It definitely does that now. It does way more chip damage on the tower now. Overall, man, it's just a really versatile, good card. All right, moving on to Giant Skeleton. I see this on the ladder every once in a while, and it's usually with that stupid clone Skeleton Barrel deck. It's always got Skeleton Barrel and clone, sometimes Wizard. This is a card that is really annoying to play when you have a big push and then they throw down the skeleton, or the Giant Skeleton, and it basically just ends your push. You gotta go opposite lane or figure something else out. I don't think it's that good. It can be, but I'm gonna go with C tier. I feel like it's much harder to get it to work out for you than some of these other cards, so we'll go C tier with that. 1 Elixir Skeletons. These aren't great, but I see them all the time, and the thing is, they're good to just get rid of them. Like, if you need to get to other cards faster, you want to cycle so that, like, you have a Hogrider deck and you want to get back to your Hog because they don't have their cannon or Tesla anymore to take it out, you cycle them. It's also really good. I have Mini P.E.K.K.A in my deck, and oh my god, if you don't have Zap or Log or something to get rid of these 1 Elixir Skeletons, it's such a good elixir trade. I'm going to put them in B tier. I think they're pretty good. Lumberjack. He is really good. Not quite S tier. I'm going to say A tier. I see him a lot. He takes stuff down pretty quick. Like, he can chop down a giant pretty fast, or a knight, stuff like that. But where he's really annoying is the rage that he drops. So I see it all the time in Golem Night Witch decks. Also, that's probably my least favorite deck to play. If you play Golem Night Witch, you should probably delete the app, throw your phone in a river. You have no skill. Yeah, so he drops his rage and then all the bats and the golem, and oh my god, if you have lightning in that deck, you are a cancer to society. Also see him in balloon decks a lot. He kind of tanks for the balloon a little bit, then drops rage and it gets to the tower way faster. It's so annoying. He's just kind of like annoying to deal with. And then his after effects are like, you gotta be fast. You gotta be a quick player. Furnace is another good solid card. I'm gonna go ahead in here and put it in B tier, like right off the bat, because it's really good. If you don't have an answer for it, like Fireball or Poison or something like that, it's gonna get to your tower and do some chip damage. And it's like Fire Spirits, people don't realize, but Fire Spirits kind of do a lot of damage. Like, it's kind of like sneaky damage. Like, you'll be focusing, if you ignore it and you focus on the other side, like, all of a sudden you'll look and your tower's like 800 health less. And you're like, wait, when did that happen? It's the freaking Furnace chipped it down. It's not any higher, because I think if you do have, like, Lightning or Poison, you can take it out pretty easily. And, like, if they put, like, a Witch or something in the back, you can poison it, the tower, and the Furnace. So, yeah, B tier. It's good, but it's not really like, man, a game changer. Like, I hate playing Furnace or anything like that. Spear Gobs. Man, Spear Gobs. I see him used a decent amount, but I gotta go, personal experience, I gotta go D tier. The only thing they're good at is kind of like the 1 Elixir Skeletons, but I would rather have the 1 Elixir Skeletons because, like, they can distract a Prince or a Mini P.E.K.K.A or something like that, but they're 2 Elixir, so they're 1 Elixir more, and they barely do any damage. I mean, they're not hardly going to take anything out. So you're not really gonna, there's not very many cards in the game where you're gonna put down spear gobs and they're gonna take it out. So you're gonna have to put down spear gobs and then cycle to something else. So I'd rather just put down 1 Elixir Skellies and cycle to something else quicker. Clone. Here's a card I would have put in S tier, I think, when it first came out. But it's gotten a little bit better. It's good with Giant Skelly Balloon. It's good sometimes with Lava Hound. That Lava Hound clone Flying Machine deck is pretty solid. Clone can be devastating too, kind of like Freeze, where if you don't know they have it and then all of a sudden they clone. But it can also fail, like arrows. If they can clone something and arrows will pretty much ruin the clone. Tornado ruins a clone. I'm going to put it in C tier because it has the possibility to be amazing, but it's not too hard to deal with it. Alright, Rascals are a card that's pretty interesting, a newer card. I will also put in C tier because kind of like Clone, if you let the 2 Rascal girls do their thing, they just put in massive damage. They'll take stuff out fast, but the problem is if you log the Rascal girls away, the Rascal boy ain't worth a shit. So, I mean, he's just like the Knight. If the Knight, like, hadn't been working out at the gym for, like, 8 years and just had been kind of laying around eating honey buns and his arm was like a twig. So, yeah. So, basically, Rascals, without the Rascal girls, Rascal boy ain't shit. Here we go. Barbarians. This is a card that was actually really good when the game kind of first came out. Used to always defend like Hogriders with Barbarians because they would take it out pretty quick, but it's probably D tier now. My Fire Spirits take it out really well. Fireball just, oh my god, Fireball wrecks it. Executioner will just destroy those guys. I feel like there's a lot more splash damage stuff nowadays, and it just gets countered by so much. It's hard to get them to work out the way you want to. Hunter. This is another card that I'm going to have to put... I'm going to put it in D tier for my personal opinion. I could see putting it in C. Now, it can take out like a baby dragon real quick, or a knight. It's got to be close, though, is the thing. So, the problem is, a lot of shit will take it out really fast if you get it up close. Like a big P.E.K.K.A. will take it out in like one slice, basically. Or a mini P.E.K.K.A. will take it out in like one hit, I think. If not... two. The problem is if it's any range at all, it might as well be shooting like cranberries at the enemy if it's like pretty far away. So it's kind of a high skill card, and for that reason it's going to be D tier. I think it's too easy to take out. Alright, now Tesla. This is a really good card. I'm going to put it in A tier. The fact that it can hide and not get damaged by spells is really important. I think that makes it a lot better than Cannon. It also, I think, does more damage than Cannon. I'll have to check, but it's pretty close. It's really good in Expo decks. You put the Tesla next to the Expo, and it defends pretty well. Defends against Hogriders, pretty much anything, you name it. Just a solid card, in my opinion. Alright, Skeleton Army. This one's going to go in S tier for me. Now, probably a lot of you guys are saying, like, why is that going in S tier? All you gotta do is zap it, throw some arrows at it. Like, any splash damage thing will take it out. It's so easy to get rid of. Why would Skeleton Army be there? Well, it's for a couple reasons. One, it's in my deck, so it has to be S tier. I can't rank it below that. But besides the fact that it's in my deck, at least for the time that I started playing the game, it was like one of the first cards you could get, and it was so good. For people that are like pretty low, up till about 3,000 trophies, it is like the card you need to defend against giants and defend against princes and stuff like that. Like, people just don't know how to get rid of it at the early stage. Yes, when you get to 6,000, like, people are just going to zap it and stuff like that, but it's still super useful, especially if you know how to play it. Like, if you know they have zap, you're going to want to defend with something else. If they've used zap and they throw in a Hogrider, you're good to use Skeleton Army, and the Hogrider won't even touch your tower. So as long as you play it smart and know they don't have an immediate counter to it or can't get to it right away, it's going to be so good on defense for you. Now, here's a card I really like. I think it's not that great. I'm going to have to put it in C tier. because I feel like this thing is just like super slow. Like it just does everything in slow motion. It takes forever to get from one place to another. I wish it had like more movement speed. But it's pretty menacing if they don't have a card to take it out right away. Because otherwise it's just going to sit behind your tanks and stuff like that and just keep hitting 3 targets and be really good for you. If they can take it out, then it's pretty useless. But you can get a lot of value for it. It's kind of hard, and it's 5 elixir. So, Ice Golem. This card is going to go to S tier because this card is used by pros. It's used on the ladder. I don't know when you unlock it, but you can kite enemies if you play it near the top of arena. Got a big P.E.K.K.A coming in and you don't know what to do with it. Put that in the opposite lane and watch the mini P.E.K.K.A go around for a spin. Same thing with a bunch of other cards. It's so good at distracting. I see it in the Hog Cycle decks. I have an Expo deck, and it's so annoying. You put down an Expo, it targets the Ice Golem. It takes forever to shoot down the Ice Golem, and by the time it does, they've taken out your Expo with something else, like a Musketeer, or a Fireball, or a Rocket, or something like that. It's just super versatile. Great all-around card. Now Mega Knight. I'm going to go here and put it in A tier. I think this card is so good, especially at lower spots on the ladder. People just don't know how to deal with it because it does so much splash damage. If you don't know just the right way to defend it, it's going to ruin you. See it a lot played with bats. So in case you have an Inferno Tower, they put down that and they put down bats to distract. It's just really good on defense at coming down and hitting a lot of targets. Yeah, I don't have anything else. It's just a solid card. It's kind of like an easier card to play. Hogrider. No surprise here, but it's going to be S tier. It has too long of a history. It's always been in the meta no matter what. I don't think there's been any point in time where Hogrider has not been in the meta. It's the main card that people base their decks around. There's a lot of different variations over the years. Used to have like Hog, Valkyrie, Musketeer early on. Now we have the Hog Cycle with Hog, Ice Golem, 1 Elixir Skeletons, Log, Musketeer, stuff like that. I've seen a ton of different Hog variations. I've seen them in big P.E.K.K.A decks. I've seen them in Mega Knight decks, you name it. It's too good of a card to put anywhere other than S tier. Alright, now Minions. I feel like these are such a better alternative to Minion Horde. I'm going to put them up here at B tier because they're pretty good. They're kind of similar to bats, but they can't be zapped. So it's better. Yes, they can be arrowed, but unlike Minion Horde, if they arrow it, it's an equal elixir trade. So it's 3 for 3 as opposed to 5 for 3. So just all in all, you're not making as big of a sacrifice, and 3 bats do a pretty good job of taking stuff out if they're not dealt with right away. It's almost as good as Minion Horde when played correctly, and overall it's about the same as Minion Horde, and you won't get punished as bad by using it. Alright guys, this video is getting a little long. I may cut it here. It's definitely going to be a 2-parter, I think. I may even make it a 3-parter. But if you guys made it this far, thanks for watching part 1. The next part should be coming out in 1 to 3 days-ish, depending on what I feel like posting. But stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss the rest of the tier list.